definitely getting picked for Karsa. I was talking about this earlier where the early game tempo is going to really set up for these solo laners of Weibo. I think they have amazing carries in every single lane. It just depends on how Karsa plays around that. Now YSKM locking in the Ksante blind. I mean, I was saying this how YSKM has introduced a different dimension to him where he's able to play these tanks now.
Yeah, he is. I mean, again, maybe not the most exciting start, but at the very least, when we have the Jayce on the other side that can flex between these solo lanes, it's spicing things up a bit, especially with Karsa getting the big potential already. First is insane for Weibo Gaming, Kitty, and that Varus that's been left open and available, here comes the range.
Second game of Varus is going to get locked in for the side of Light. This time around, so much range already from Weibo Gaming. I mean, this Jayce can flex either mid lane or top. We see how potent TheShy is when he is given one of these carry champions. But yeah, we're going to have to narrow down the champion pool for both mid lane and support, because like we've been seeing, this Varus can rotate towards that support position.
Again, the flexibilities in 13.1, at least something good to talk about is, here's a Jhin. Kitty, we didn't even get that many ADs banned out, and straight away IG just went, yep, okay, we're going to add some range too.
Yeah, I mean, Jhin is relatively stable into a Varus lane, but once again, this top lane, I mean, YSKM blinds the Ksante. That means champions like Sion, Gwen, even the Fiora at times needs to get banned. Two of them have already been taken off the board, but TheShy, I mean, he has such a big champion pool. Do you think we'll ever get to see his Kalista, Vayne, or Quinn ever again?
I don't know, honestly. Like, I think we got to get in the right meta for it. Sanguine Blade helped that out, Kitty. That was definitely an item. Yeah, like TheShy would pick that top and just play it over and over in solo queue. His movement was sick, and that's why it's sad. But hey, look, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting something like the Jayce top. Again, AD for TheShy, like some kind of marksman in spirit, would be so normal, as Sion ban against him probably assumes that it is going to Xiaohu through mid. Because we get rid of the tank, TheShy's always played the Sion in whatever season. Gwen gone as well. Now the curiosity is, like, does he get given something like the Camille? Like, will TheShy play the Camille? That's my biggest question, Kitty.
I have a weird feeling that TheShy might just land on something like the Gnar for this game one. Very stable pick into Ksante, and it also does provide a stable CC for this Elise and Varus to obviously pop up in these team fights. But the Jax is going to get hovered. I mean, the Gragas is going to get hovered here. I think they're anticipating a Jax top lane from TheShy.
Oh yeah, that would make sense, but TheShy's not a big Jax top lane player. Like, he's played it sparingly in his series, hasn't played it much this split. Maybe something like the Renekton there as well, Kitty, that's not banned away. I mentioned the Nidalee, but no Kappa. Like, this would be the comp to bring it out in. Honestly, it'd be the perfect comp. We get a Soraka from Crisp. Again, the Ashe was banned away. Just interesting here that they opt into this, and TheShy's
no
okay,
Nidalee, no Nidalee. Get out of here with your hysterical ideas. We saw it once, and it was exciting enough for that one solo kill, but it didn't work out too hot for the side of Weibo. But this entire team comp for this game one, I mean, Soraka and Elise coming out, a very potent duo once you do land the cocoon, because the combo is once the CC lands, you put the Soraka silence underneath and they aren't able to escape. The Sylas is going to be the response into Jayce, however, so it is going to be a Gragas jungle, but I mean, IG just playing very standard for this game one. Yeah,
IG again, like, holding their cards close to their chest, it feels like, with the draft. Kitty, Weibo, I'm not sure if I can say that because I already mentioned range. What else does this draft do apart from snowball out of control?
It does a lot, because when it does come to these team fights, Xiaohu and Light, it really depends on their positioning, because you are up against something like the Ksante and Gragas where it can disposition you in these fights. But Karsa is the lifeline of the early game for Weibo. Same for Gideon, but I think the difference is that Karsa, he loves playing towards...
And now has come back and is starting out in the LPL for his debut split. He goes up against his old father, TheShy, who really is the father of the LPL at this point. The Korean top laner who never played the LCK, never played Challengers League, bar one best of 3 to qualify for the Challengers League that he lost. He is LPL through and through, and he's the man to beat to place yourself in the LPL League. Welcome to League of Legends here for the final time tonight with IG versus Weibo Gaming. This is a battle for the top 6. This is a battle for respect in the top lane, but overall to show us if IG are worthy of being up in that top 6 overall, or if Weibo have still got this spot.
Let's see how this early game will play out, because we already see Weibo being extremely proactive and getting rid of Wink's early Heimerdinger towers where he isn't going to be able to replant those. I mean, Light caught a position here. A little bit
A bit of damage coming through. Arn is going to get a 4th shot off as well, so really good start to the lane. Arn does have to pop a pot though, so Light doing the same as Xiaohu moves down. He's going to catch Dove out in rotation. Maybe just looking for a trade here, Kitty, as a good dodge away from the shock blast means Dove comes to lane full health.
Little bit of trading for this first game. Never hurt anyone. I mean, no summoners weren't burnt, so it's completely fine, guys. Both junglers start the red side of their jungle, and I just want Karsa to be consistently playing towards Light. I mean, you have so much CC once the Varus hits level 6, and just the amount of guaranteed threat that you have with the silence from Crisp for this game 1. I mean, if you chain the crowd control perfectly, I think Wink or On, even having the cleanse available, is going to have a tough time for this bot lane 2v2.
True again. Easy to burn out. I like you've been talking about the Soraka, because something we don't normally see here in the LPL. For Crisp as well, he's got a unique champion pool. Is able to heal up here, but the stun down, deadly flourish, no! Doesn't connect from On. The barrier is pulled out though, so a net win. Still overall, Kitty, you see him spiraling in, but he's going to go over a ward. Are they trying to bait it? Oh, they're trying to bait it because Gragas is coming through, but
nice
Cocoon doesn't land. All right, into melee form. Deadly flourish for the return. Arn playing it dangerous in the chest. Repels up. Here comes Gideon, but the waves crashing in, and all he can do is safeguard.
Does want to heal from both sides in this bottom lane. I mean, Soraka obviously did have to burn that barrier for getting caught.
Oh,
Karsa's so low in the 3v3. I mean, he has to be careful here because Gideon does have that flash available.
Gideon's not going to throw out the Gigaton right into the face of Elise. Karsa narrowly gets away. Dangerous players again. Speaking of dangerous, Arn standing in this lane now needs help with the barrel roll to help clear out the minion wave. If Arn gets hit with another piercing arrow, he's dead.
Desperately trying to get this wave pushed in before he doesn't have enough health. I mean, Light just landing every single Q. They do secure the bottom scuttle, however, so Karsa is going to part towards that top lane and clear his blue buff and get the scuttle as well. However, YSKM knows that and does put a ward in the river, so just avoiding any ganks and trying to negate all the threat that Karsa is putting out in this early game on this Elise.
So, Kitty, let's talk about other lanes, because I think it's worth mentioning that Xiaohu right now is leading in the mid, using the range advantage quite well. Top side's going even for TheShy so far, as YSKM is managing to hold himself, but it looks like the wave is in a pretty good place for TheShy. So, for Weibo Gaming, small gold lead here, just based off their natural advantage in these lanes.
On does come back into the game with a Swifties, just trying to dodge everything. I mean, Karsa does secure the top lane scuttle. However, I think all of the action is going to be towards this bot lane. When it does come to mid lane 2v2, however, I think Xiaohu having the amount of lane party up against Dub, I mean, you can see this consistent push. It does allow Karsa to have a lot more freedom when it does come to invades against Gideon. But Xiaohu is a little bit over pushed here. I'm getting a little bit scared.
Gragas not making his way down there. Gideon actually heading up to his topside camp. He'll be safe for now, I guess. Safe, thinking that Xiaohu is nearby. Shock blast dodged away by Dove. Good movement here from the mid laner of IG as Xiaohu's expended all of his mana, but he'll just auto away, continuing to put pressure on Dove through mid as he farms up. That gives Karsa a bit of time to get in, get the scrying plant, and get himself a bit of information. Seeing that Gideon's topside, after his pretty much full clear, just backing away.
A lot of priority from the solo laners of Weibo. Gnar and this Jayce are just consistently pushing in the enemy team, so Karsa just trying to find these angles onto the enemy team. I mean, we've seen this Elise previously, however, in the hands of Gideon last time, and he wasn't able to get those early leads, or at least early summoner spells, burnt from the enemy team, and this Elise pick just suffocated when it came to the late game stage, so they're kind of on a ticking time bomb here for Weibo.
So keeping the game moving at a good pace. Important to note then as Wink not going to let his AD carry get spotted out, or rather just luck of the draw as Arn's able to get a quick reset in the bush. So a little back from Arn on top of the Swifties, gets the long sword. while Jungler's now appearing in the bottom side. Dove hits level 6. Hasn't stolen anything with the hijack yet as Gideon continues to walk down. But nothing happens for the time being. TheShy is level 6 up at this top side. It is a shame when we hyped up YSKM versus TheShy. We have Gnar versus Ksante. Not exactly the most riveting matchup.
It's okay, I'm sure this 2v2 is going to be very spicy when it does come to the mid-game skirmishes, but this is what patch 13.1 does to our carry players. You're forever assigned to Ksante and Gnar duty. Bit of a shame, but it's okay. Teamfights will showcase the skill that we have in this top lane 1v1 matchup.
True. Again, TheShy's Gnar, he's most played in his history as Gideon comes in. Dub with the flash in, chain corruption, IG straight to the pounds. First blood over to the newbie team as they get away with a cocoon landing. Xiaohu isn't in time. Beautiful window to punish, however small.
Really sharp decision making from Dub. Saw that Crisp was caught out, instantly flashes with the Varus available and gets Crisp as that first blood into the pocket of Gideon. I mean, Gideon loves his AP Gragas, so once this bomber gets online, I mean, someone's gonna get popped in these team fights.
Oh yeah, again, first blood. This time feels very relevant here tonight as junglers have been picking it up left, right and center, but Kitty will look again because as you said, Dub comes in with a beautifully timed ult.
Yeah, a little bit disrespect from Weibo. You did see the mid laner rotating first as Xiaohu is desperately trying to follow, but it was just a matter of seconds as Crisp fell as a result. And I think the Sylas stealing the Varus ultimate for that fight caught him off guard and he didn't burn the flash.
Just great roam timing overall though. First blood going over, as you mentioned, to Gideon. Hextech Alternator, the first pickup here as the reset comes through and Karsa uses that small little timing as well. To speak of which, getting the dragon, well, Gideon now heading up to the top side. Herald's up in about 10 seconds, and Wink has already moved over. Kitty, this is priority and a half for Xiaohu. He's going to get some information here without getting spotted out himself.
Wink is already here. I mean, the Jhin is going to be CSing alone in this bottom lane, still having the cons available, so even if Light lands a Varus ultimate onto the AD carry, he is going to be just fine. Proactiveness from IG, though, exactly what we want to see in this early game. I mean, you have the Sylas and Gragas, a lot of engage and CC from these two melee champions.
So you can see in the meanwhile, though, Light just walking back down to the bottom lane. They've already given it up. Herald's already gone down. It will be an objective trade as Gideon is going to finish off his last camp, see what he can achieve up in that top side. Dove, meanwhile, though, wants to shove out this wave, but he's getting ganked. Arn's moving up, and he's a little bit sus on this one. Thinking, well, hang on a minute.
Ooh, that was close.
Curtain call is available, though. Doesn't have to get into range. Dub, chain lash. He wants chain lash. He wants chain lash, but Xiaohu just zones him out. Nicely done as here comes the gank. Oh, it's gone away. Karsa Cocoon doesn't land. Deadly Flourish, curtain call comes through. The counter punch from Invictus Gaming flies through. Weibo take themselves a couple of shots this early on. It doesn't do enough as Dove has turned into a spider, and he will just be able to clear the wave. So a good defensive play from IG to stop the kill going over his Wink. I say that, he doesn't really dodge the cocoon nor the shock blast. It's just Michael Jackson doing smooth criminal.
I'm not too sure if Weibo is whiffing their skill shots or if IG are just in tip-top form and dodging all these skill shots. I mean, I've been accentuating about how the combo from Karsa and Chris is fatal in this game.
Oh, blind chain corruption. They know he's in there. Explosive cast gets him out. The blue buff goes to Wink, but Gideon dies. Weibo just never quit on a play.
Sorry, it was not first blood. Gideon, give it, Gideon, take it.
Kitty, that was great, though. Let's be real. Weibo, they missed the first time, missed the second time, but the third time they're like, all right, we're taking it to blue buff.
Yeah, Gideon just wanted his blue buff, and Light was 10 steps ahead, having that ultimate available. I mean, even Crisp committed with that flash and instant silence, where we talked about the combo where you can't just flash away after the initial CC lands, and Gideon falls as a response of that. But really good play coming out of Weibo. We should be seeing more of that for the next upcoming 5 minutes, especially when Dragon is spawning in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But Crisp this time doesn't have the flash available. So if you do get CC'd, I mean, this Soraka is so vulnerable in these team fights with the amount of disposition spells from IG's team comp.
And that's the other side of it, isn't it? The fact that IG have found themselves pretty neck and neck here in the early game. The damage is going to be meaningful against Crisp as Dub's able to share some of the gold, and Rift Herald, meanwhile on our screen, TheShy, a little bit of a jumpy forward, and YSKM just gets hit on the nose. But you talked about that dragon timing coming forward. For now, I want to see how Gideon continues moving around the map. So far, he's been hyper-aggressive between mid and bot. Dove has been going all in as well on Xiaohu, and now after the mid push, pings are coming down. They're going to try and find an angle again, or at least threaten somewhat.
Gideon already has his Dark Harvest available in his item slots. I mean, with the dragon spawning in 1 minute, it really depends on what Karsa is going to be coming back, because like I've been saying, this Gragas full AP, and with how I guess squishy Weibo's team composition, other than TheShy, of course, is in the 5v5 sense, Crisp has to really stand in the back without flash available and heal them up, because the amount of burst potential from IG is insane.
IG are also going to be hitting one item across the board everywhere else. Like, we should see YSKM pretty soon. Rod of Age is picked up at the 11-minute mark. Pretty good for Dove. Also for Arn, this should be a back to, what, complete Gale Force here? No, Noon Quiver only. Doesn't have enough gold yet, but should be getting pretty close. As that dragon now being fought around pretty early. Weibo moving into position, but look at the river. It's lit up like a Christmas tree. IG have just placed 7 wards to kick this one off.
You can't really face check either, because all the summoner spells are available, all the flashes at least, from IG, and this Gragas is the main damage source when it comes to the 5v5. I mean, all Arn and Wink has to do is sit in the back and just connect with their follow-up CC, and someone is caught from the side of Weibo. So they have to tread very carefully. I mean, this ward is beautiful from IG to get a catch.
But Weibo see inside the pit, so on the other end as well, Weibo obviously have information of their own. That's now going to be spotted out as well. TheShy, if he wants to join in on this fight, has TP. Note on the other side, YSKM has the same as he pushes up to the turret. Both these top laners ready to get involved as Xiaohu and Dub now moving in from similar angles. Dragon up in 1 second as to now. Chris not caught out by a deadly flourish as Dub goes all in on Xiaohu, but Weibo giving nothing away for the time being. Light sitting on bot wave as well. Kitty trying to get priority there so he can move in. As IG are in the river first, but Weibo definitely don't want to let this go.
Arn is sacking a lot. I mean, he's just consistently covering the mid lane as Dub. Oh, 1v1.
Oh my god, Mini TheShy, the flash away from the Mega one. But he is only Mini the time being. It's a confusing play as Flash and Ghost were both burned. These are the guys with TP as Cocoon lands from Karsa, goes all in. Gideon backs away with the body slam. Karsa himself just threatening away as Wink now throws himself into the fray. Dragon gets a little bit angry about who's visiting his home as the door was unlocked. Chance Corruption does connect on the edge. That hitbox crazy, but the explosive cast may have killed Karsa. Beautiful ulti coming through with Gideon's dying breath. Karsa takes one more. All he needs to die. Dub doesn't land. No, Karsa alive. He skirts out death and baits IG into their demise.
The flash ultimate from Light lands onto Gideon. The silence follow-up from Chris. Gideon still has that flash available, but he just wasn't able to escape the CC from Weibo, and Karsa living on 1 HP. I mean, this Soraka pick is doing so much for this game one. Everyone, you just had to see Karsa's health bar throughout the entire fight, because Chris was trying to do everything to keep him up. I mean, even dodging the spells from Dub after, which is beautiful and really well played from Weibo. They see this choke. Gideon is out of position, and Light blast comes over the Dragon Pit and lands his ultimate onto the jungler of IG, and the amount of damage, I mean, just executes Gideon as well. 1 HP heal, Soraka ult, and he lives on 1. Soraka also does give him 1 more W as his Jhin comes back up, but he just dodges every single spell from here on out.
Xiaohu with the block, beautiful, nice side step as well. Doesn't hit the initial cocoon, but hits the one that matters. 2-0 start for Karsa here. And a fight that for Weibo Gaming nets them the second dragon. Kitty, it's also a 1k gold lead. Even more than that from Weibo off the back of the fight. This game has now started for them, and IG are trailing.
Tempo is everything Hysterics. I mean, for this game one, both junglers just desperately trying to make picks around the map, and Karsa comes out on top. Although giving the Herald as a response, I'm sure they're more than happy with having 2 dragons in this first 15-minute mark. And with Xiaohu and Light, I mean, scaling comfortably, these team fights, you have to be extremely careful, because IG, they are lacking a bit of damage.
They are, especially at this point, even with the 1 item, like you were talking before. that we need to kind of develop into this game a bit more. IG looking to see how they can get that explosion off with Gragas, though, as Chain Corruption comes through again over the wall. The poke wink flashes away. Kitty, this is what we're talking about in draft from Weibo's side. Their range, their poke is deadly.
Can't even walk into these chokes because Light is just so proactive with these ultimates. The first tier 1 tower does go down and it opens up the map a lot more. Come on, just auto it!
It's a lure. They want to fight. They want IG to fight them under the turret that doesn't exist. And the gold skyrockets up. It's 2,500 now for Weibo at 16 minutes into the game. Double Dragon. And Kitty, things are looking real good here. And I have to say, for Weibo, you look at this team, and this is a very explosive team. Not by draft, but by nature. Right? This team often goes for 50-50 players. They've worked out here, but it has been a little bit more solidified than I think I'd normally find.
Most definitely. I mean, they were the ones that went neck and neck up against JDG, going up to a game 3 where I think Xiaohu and Light, when it does come to those clutch moments, they definitely step up. IG trying to cut the bleeding, however, trying to make a play into Xiaohu. Is it going to work, though?
Crisp is baiting them in. He's waiting in the brush. Okay, wait. Crisp now circling around. Dove is at half HP. Xiaohu feeling mighty fine. Jumps in, but it is a Sylas, so it ends there as everyone keeps grouping around the bottom side of the map. Karsa and Crisp looking for a pick as Cocoon is a little bit short onto the scuttle. Gideon does find that in the end. And WBG just walk it through as, yeah, Xiaohu's going to start doing more and more. Wink at half HP from a one-item Jayce.
Only one item, already sees so much pressure in that side lane. Dove is already struggling to match him. I mean, Gideon has to help him out in the side lane, but the entirety of Weibo is already hovering that, and they're being more proactive compared to IG, where I think Wink is just automatically going mid, and he's a bit late to this tempo where this tier 1 tower just falls.
God, another one for Weibo. Again, Kitty, I'll be honest. I know my Mandarin's hot garbage, but every time, as an English speaker, saying Weibo is like the hardest thing to pronounce. It is just saying it in a sentence and acting naturally. It's so difficult. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, I think BO is just a pretty different pronunciation when it comes to English and Chinese, because I know a lot of people say Weibo, but in Chinese, Weibo, there's like a W, it's like B-W-O, Weibo, there's like a bounce to it, but Karsa, he's gonna bounce.
Oh yeah, he is. Look, bounce house, great type, and Weibo. Oh, bounce house indeed. Up in with the rappel, he's alive again. Karsa is the survival expert. They even get a kill off the back of it as here comes YSKM. They're on to Xiaohu, knocks him up, he flashes away. The curtain call, last shot doesn't connect. Great movement from YSKM. The TP beautiful as well. Gets the knockback onto Xiaohu. So dangerous though. Fake Gideon in as they get a kill. Arn jumps on in to find Chris, but now has to get on out as Karsa's rejoined back in. YSKM started that, but they're on a nice edge.
And TheShy is just chilling in this top lane, 0-0-0, but already has that 200 gold bounty. I mean, Weibo Gaming won a 4v5 in that bot lane skirmish. Karsa just getting caught out completely off guard, and he doesn't even die because he just ends up flashing over the wall. Walking into vision, I mean, Wink just doesn't have enough damage to finish off Karsa, missing the stun as well. And this Heimerdinger support is just getting kind of bullied in this game with the CC connecting onto Heimer, and he gets bursted here. Jayce Q, Varus, he's gone! And then, of course, YSKM TP's in here. Doesn't have enough damage to finish off Weibo, however, Arn does pick up a sneaky kill onto Chris, but this dragon is online again.
I was going to say, Kitty, it's going to get worse from here for the Heimerdinger as well. Wink is going to have a rough time of it. There's 4,000 now to lead. TheShy refusing to elaborate with his team, just sits in a side lane, picks up that inner turret. 600 gold for him. He is 40 CS up. He's coasting, man. This guy, he's got a yacht, sitting on it, just doesn't need to talk to anyone.
Yeah. TheShy's level 14 while Wink is sitting on level 7. I mean, double the XP. 3 dragons also going to the hands of Weibo Gaming. I mean, with just the amount of pressure they have playing alongside Vision, we already see how potent these silences are once it gets connected from a follow-up CC. Wink is just having a terrible time, especially on Heimerdinger when you want to be ahead and be annoying and setting up these vision control and having your turrets down. I mean, they're giving no chances over to IG for this game 1.
This is what TheShy needs to do to catch up on his kills. Is what are we looking at? Chain corruption, hop away. Nice, beautiful hop away from TheShy. Well, Kitty, with that turret going down, we're getting close to 5K. This is the most calm Weibo game I've ever seen. And it's crazy because against IG, I thought we'd be scrapping like we're in a junkyard and everything's $9.95.
I mean, IG is trying to make this a junkyard and making it $9.95, as you would say, but Weibo with their macro, I mean, they're just negating every single engage from IG, like Karsa living the previous one from Gideon. And this AP Gragas isn't getting too much done on the map, as 3 dragons are in the hands of Weibo, and now Baron is also online.
Let's see if Gideon can find an angle. Dove's going to get priority topside as objective bounty is even up now as well. That's because Weibo got themselves the 3rd dragon here in this game, and everything is belonging to them with a massive gold lead. Karsa walking in, but still, he has not died yet. He has gotten out of 2 spectacular plays. IG going to try and push in, but Kitty, the problem is, as they group up and try and threaten Baron, look at Bot.
I'm looking.
Bot is just an issue. I mean, Dove's looking at top. Hang on, that explosive cast from Chris was great. The Soraka caught out the curtain call as he flashes away. He hides behind Karsa. Save me, Spider Queen. Okay, thank you very much. Crisp gets out, Karsa gets out as well, but IG forced the play as that's what I'm talking about. Bottom left, TheShy is just PvEing again.
Did burn the double flash out of Weibo's bot lane, but what did it result into? Well, TheShy is still consistently pressuring that bottom lane where YSKM is currently 40 CS down from just an isolated matchup. I mean, just the amount of negating power and discipline from Weibo when it does come to these 4v4s in the top side. Crisp having that stopwatch previously available, I mean, just stops them once again from that previous engage. And they retake the vision control as TheShy goes back home and picks up his items.
He's got a black flavor. He's got a bounty. 260 CS at 23 minutes into the game. There's a 40 CS lead mid. There's a 10-15 CS lead bot. Jungle has a lead. Weibo are outclassing IG. And look, to IG's credit, Kitty, it's not like this team is like not looking for answers. They are consistently looking for picks. That's what shows this is a playoff quality team, or at least one that's approaching it. They're constantly trying to be proactive here with the composition. But Weibo just aren't giving them an inch. Every time there's always coverage on someone getting picked or caught out.
YSKM is giving up on the side lane. I mean, TheShy is 265 CS at 23 minutes. Surely you force a 5v5 here because you're never going to be doing anything in that side lane as the Ksante. You're going to be slowly bleeding out as TheShy gains a bigger and bigger lead as the game goes on. I mean, Baron is on the place. At least burn a TP from TheShy so he no longer has that side lane pressure. Dance around the Baron.
Wink. Oh, that's dangerous. That's so dangerous. Luckily, Xiaohu was not nearby. He's pushing topside. Light, I guess, not nearby as well. And camera goes back here. All right, let's watch that. And Xiaohu, as he moves in, he's going to try and play himself the poke game. Hits Gideon. Chain corruption doesn't connect. IG try again, but Dub not getting the abscond. The duck has been denied multiple times. Weibo in his choke. Explosive cast is good onto Crisp. And they get him. Abscond. Duck flashed over. They got him. Crisp is now dead. Okay, but look at the poke in return. You think you get the support and then Weibo re-engage. They cannot, as Wink is a support ready to die, just like his counterpart. Explosive cast in, and Xiaohu blows him up. That's a solo kill, as they need to run. TheShy finally joined in. Give him a kill. He deserves it. Look at him go. Just autoing for the win. Xiaohu denies him, and IG outclasses the perfect definition of this game 1.
You get Chris, but what in return? A 1-for-3 trade as Baron also goes in the hands of Weibo as this 4th dragon also potentially getting contested. I mean, this game is just won from the 15-minute mark. The amount of lead that Weibo was able to generate from just laning, I mean, just look at the CS, all up by at least 20 to 40 CS, and Xiaohu is just way too potent, picking up his 3rd item as well, where Chris is setting up the vision already.
YSKM not going to get ulted in as TheShy. Rather, already burnt it. It's got a small cooldown. He's teleported in to set up for this dragon, the Ocean Dragon, Kitty. That's massive. And IG haven't had a taste of the dragons this game. While as they come in now, this is going to be a hard ask. Arn is our front line in Karsa, missing the cocoon. Good dodge away. Shock blast as well, but Arn's already zoned out at half HP. Wink annihilated. He's just dead. I blinked, I winked, and I missed it.
And I'm plinking Hysterics because this game is looking impossible for IG to win. I mean, that entire dragon fight, Light was just challenging. Double stun!
Double kill. Okay, time for TheShy with an Ocean Soul to do the dirty work. Under turret, he needs to get out of there. The all-out, though, from YSKM can't finish the job. As TheShy hasn't died, ladies and gentlemen, a fairly new experience over the wall. Can he hop?
He's gonna go
He does
for
anyway.
It.
Well, TheShy, props to this man. He has died 1,700 times in his career, 1,491 kills. This game, at least, he's going to catch up and get closer to the 200 gap.
This is what happens when you leave TheShy 0-0-0 on this Gnar, most played champion in his entire career history, and just completely dominates these teamfights once he joins in. I mean, he was just zoning out at least 3 members of IG while they were trying to contest for that 4th dragon. But the early game, they weren't able to deny any of these dragons, and now they're put on a time bomb where the game has come to a 5v5 where you are behind an entire item. YSKM TP's a little bit too late, and this Heimerdinger support is offering nothing. I mean, TheShy just zoning out Gideon, and he's running for his dear life, but you are an AP Gragas level 11 as TheShy's level 17.
Oh my god, 16 level lead. Well spotted, Kitty. Yeah, TheShy
double stun.
17. And gets the ulti despite getting knocked back a bit as well. Look how long he takes under the turret. Like,
Ocean Soul Soraka,
everything.
Man. You can't kill this, man. He has a hull breaker as well, but this wasn't even the hull breaker being active since you have to be alone. He's just playing with 2 items and he's already that strong. Level 17. Let's take a look at IG. I mean, everyone is at least 3 levels down. The map is suffocating as the only inhibitor that is up is this top lane, but it's already a bit too late to force any plays as the Jayce Q just half-hells Wink.
Wink has been getting a rough time of it this whole game. And even though Crisp has been bullied out by IG whenever they can, it's only 3 kills going over. All 3 were on Crisp. But you've seen, folks at home, you've seen every time that happens, Weibo Gaming annihilate the rest of them. Even Gideon with a bit of health under his belt. Nothing stops Xiaohu right now as TheShy just running at them. Level 18 now as well. The whole team there. He's going to go into Mega Gnar. No. He's denied. He's dead. At least they killed TheShy, but at what cost with a triple kill forward? Look at the man go. We haven't talked about him all game, but with a quadra going over, Light Yagami, write it down. He is Kira with a penta in his name.
What a massive lad from An. He just says, come here and get it, big boy. You deserved it. And Light gets out of this game 1 with a pentakill and a perfect game from Weibo as they dominated IG for this series.
That was a perfect way to wrap it up. Domination, like Kitty, we didn't even talk about. Like, Chains of Corruption came through multiple times, but we were talking about other members of Weibo. It was Karsa, it was Xiaohu on this Jayce, TheShy side laning. A nice way to end it out, considering that he and Chris were probably the most quiet in the team, but that game was anything but. It was class from Weibo, it was consistency, and they didn't really let IG get away with any of these picks.
No, and especially with Gideon picking up that first blood. We saw how early his mythic item was online, but you say that Light didn't have a big role in terms of the early team fights, but I think the very first one where he was able to flash ulti Gideon, lock him down, and the entire fight turned was really when Weibo got the wheels rolling for this first game. And like you've been saying, Xiaohu and TheShy just being left on an island where they're just consistently CSing, well, you didn't have enough damage to match something like the Gnar and the Jayce in the side lane, and IG kind of just suffocated from that.
I mean, look, again, good opportunities from IG that they try and bridged out, but that play towards blue outside, excuse me, Kitty Blue, it was the Karsa repel, it was the bait in, it was the unfortunate circumstances where it snowballed from there. It was topside running away in the solo matchup that lasted all game. It was Xiaohu finding lane priority and then moving across the map. And like, even though First Blood went over to IG, look at the damage output. They just weren't allowed to enter the contest.
Look, I love YSKM, but I'm pretty sure until the very last minute into the game, he was 0-0-0. And you want to be team fighting on a champion like Ksante. You're not playing something like the Fiora. You're not playing something like the Camille or the Jax. You can't be just matching TheShy on Gnar in these silence because you're not getting anything done, especially when you're being put on a time or you're on a timer. YSKM 4,783 damage. I mean, speechless.
Not much. Yeah, really not much. Again, you look across the board of Weibo, Xiaohu doing the most damage output, 200% gold damage to gold as well. Is nice to see. On the other side, it's funny that Wink did the most damage. Even surprisingly, when he was just bullied out, he was zoned out, he was poked out. Like, Wink was always getting half health before every fight. It was amazing how he was a magnet to those shock blasts.
Wink also built Mikhail's first before anything else. I believe he had an Oblivion Orb, and that was literally it. So it was quite surprising that Wink did the most damage out of IG, but just the entire IG team composition going into this game one, they were severely lacking in damage, where An had to be ahead.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's hope this gets a little bit more interesting throughout the series because we talked about the top lane matchup. We're excited to watch IG try and challenge Weibo Gaming, but game one in under 30 minutes, Weibo said no. And for game two, we've got to hope that IG have a little bit more spark running into this series.